Alright, today I'm going to be upgrading the hard drive, or the solid state drive rather, in this Latitude E7440. This is a Dell. It came with a 128 gig solid state drive. I'm going to drop 250 in there, and I'm going to be able to use the MSATA card that Dell shipped this with as a sort of a secondary drive. But the process is going to be very similar. If you have an actual hard disk drive in there, it's going to be very similar. Now, if you're upgrading the default solid state drive, you might want to check eBay for one of these, or open up the back and see if you have this in there. If not, what you'd want to get is an MSATA card as opposed to a solid state drive that looks like this. And when we open it up, I'll show you what I mean. Let's flip it over here and take the battery out. Okay, so we're going to remove the battery and make sure you don't have any power supply hooked up to it as well. You don't want any power to it. I've got a number 0 Phillips. I've got a slight magnetism to it. It's not necessary, it just helps with these small screws. And we're just going to remove these two corner screws here and here from the back plate. Alright, this back plate just slides towards you here if you've got the machine positioned this way, like I've got it, and then it lifts out. Camera's kind of in the way. Okay? Alright, so let me spin it around here, we'll take a look. Alright, so you can see that Dell basically has an MSATA card in this drive tray, and that's how they shipped it. So what I would recommend, if you've got a solid state drive now, is just open it up and see if it looks like this. If it does, you could order the MSATA card like that, or you could check eBay for one of these. This is a work laptop. I'm doing it at home though, I'll throw that out there. And we had some machines that had hard disk drives in them, and we retained these brackets. So I ordered a solid state drive as opposed to the MSATA card. Okay, this is from Crucial. And Crucial did include, and I'll just throw this out there, some imaging software so you could image from one drive to the next, but this one's already been upgraded to Windows 10. I'm not a big fan of the upgrade process, so I'm going to load a clean Windows 10 on that, so I won't get into that today. Okay, what I'm going to do here is remove these Phillips screws here on this drive cage, and I think they're the same as what we just removed. Nope, they're a little bit longer, so set them aside. Okay, so what you want to do is kind of pay attention to how that goes, and that goes like that. This one has sort of a spacer right there. The drive itself came with a spacer. You could rip that foam off and use that, but I'm just going to use that one. And I'm going to rip this out, or gently remove it, I guess I'd say. We don't rip computers apart, we gently remove them. Okay? And then you need to match up the SATA connection here. I'm just going to set that down in there like that. Make sure you have your cable tucked in the way it was. It kind of wraps around, and you can take a screwdriver and push it down there gently too if you need to. Okay, and then that's just going to go like that. And I'm going to replace these screws. Now keep in mind, I haven't loaded this yet, but this is going to basically be picked up as the primary drive. I am going to load it from scratch, as I said, using a Windows 10 USB stick that I created. But one advantage of replacing this solid state drive over a hard disk drive is that the MSATA card is going to go right here, and we'll get to that next. And then you could use this Acronis imaging software, which my colleague told me didn't work for him, but it's supposed to work. to copy the disk directly, and also increase the size of the partition because we're going from 128 gigs to a 250 gig. They have these. This was $99. You can get the 500 gig for I think $200. Okay, so what we're going to do here is remove this little corner screw on our MSATA card, and I'm not going to wipe this out. I'm just going to put this in there. I'll be able to go into the BIOS and tell it that I want to boot from this if I want to do that. But what I'm going to do is actually install it, and I'm going to load up my my 250 gig, and then I'll have this with all my stuff on it, and I'll copy it across, and then I'll eventually format that, and that'll be sort of a secondary drive space. Okay, so it's kind of an advantage to already have the solid state drive in there. Okay, that's it. You want to make sure everything's good. Your cable's tucked away. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 screws in there. Put this back down. Got the machine spun from how we originally had it, so let me put it back. And we have our other 2 screws that were a little bit shorter. And this is where the magnetism comes in handy. You probably already saw it when I put the drive in. But you can kind of stick the screw right on the edge of the driver there, and you don't have to mess with it. So I'm going to go ahead and put this back together, load up my Windows 10, and run all the updates and everything. So hopefully this video has been helpful. Thanks for watching. If you have questions, leave them below. I know I don't do a lot of computer videos, but it's actually my profession. That's what I actually do for a living, is work on computers. So cars are sort of my hobby. And what you can do is you can actually go into the BIOS and make sure that it recognizes it. Oops, F2 on this one. F12 brings up your boot options, but the BIOS setup is there as well. So let's go take a look. You probably can't see it because of the glare. Alright, let's see if I can show you this here real quick. So it sees the 250 gig drive, and it sees the 128 gig, what they're calling the mini SSD device, which incidentally was the primary hard drive because this is how Dell ships that setup. Okay, so hopefully this video has been helpful. Thanks for watching. Leave those questions and comments below. If you want to see more of this type of stuff, hit that subscribe button right there, and have fun.